Hey, what's up? I just thought I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about a record that I have coming up. House is Bumpin. It'll be available June 25th on Track Source from Phoenix Soul. It's a really awesome label. I've loved working with them so far, and I'm excited for this record. And there's a story behind how I came up with the lyrics for this record. When I was a youngster, there weren't really that many options for going out dancing, and so one of the options that we had available to us, living in the Seattle area, is that we could go to a nightclub in Portland. It was about a 2.5-hour drive from where I lived, and there was a club called the City Nightclub, and they had amazing music. And it was open from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. and my friends and I would make a whole night of it and drive down, show up at 10 p.m., stay till 4 a.m. and then drive home. And we get home at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then sleep all day. Good times, right? Anyway, one night that I was there, the DJ played a track called, I don't remember what it was called at the time, but I just remember this hook, bass keys pumping, bass keys pumping, bass keys pumping, pumping, pumping. And I wasn't sure. I wasn't able to find out who the record was for or from, and I looked for it in record stores, and to no avail. I wasn't able to find it. But fast forward a few years later, we have the internet. We have whosampled.com and YouTube and Discogs, and I was able to find the record, and I was able to track down where the original sample came from, and it was a record by a UK hip hop or hip house artist, Jazzy P, and she had a record called "Feel the Rhythm" that sample came from. And I decided that I wanted to build a track around that. I kind of wrote a song around kind of that bass keeps pumping sample that had stuck with me all those years, and I wrote some lyrics to kind of expand upon that, and I changed it up to "House is Bumpin'," and I made it as an homage to house music. We know that house is bumping because of that 4 on the floor, beat from the 909 drum machine by Roland, and that shuffling hats that give it that groove that makes us want to move. And so I just wrote the lyrics purely from what I love about house music, and I really hope that you like them too. Originally I was going to make it a hip house track and do something a little bit different than what I have been doing for the last couple years, but I don't want to stray too far from there, so I actually kind of wrote some lyrics or some melody to accompany the lyrics, and I recorded me singing it and sent that over to Andrea Brown, and she recorded a much better vocal than I came up with on the track, and so she sent it back to me, and I couldn't help but thinking, man, this sounds so familiar. And I had my friend GQ. He has a weekly radio show called the House Trade Radio Show, and he listened to it. And he's an encyclopedia of house music, and he picked up on it right away, and he said, Tony, that is music. It really reminds me of Music is Pumping from People Underground, a record that came out in 1997 on Nervous Records, and there was a big Kevin Fisher remix on that record, and I was like, yes, that's totally what it reminds me of. And so hopefully it'll bring back some good memories. There will be some remixes, I'm sure, in the future at some point that are sure to come out, but until now, I hope you enjoyed this version, and I wanted to shout out a few cities in the record, but I know that there's so many more cities. This house music thing is global, and I wasn't able to cover all the cities that I wanted to cover, not even Minneapolis, but I do have actually some other plans for showing some love to Minneapolis, so be on the lookout for that as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the record, and peace out.